So first one, everybody can make things more complicated. So over the 70 years I've been doing this, what I found is companies seem to, especially like advertising, marketing, brand strategy, brand position, branding agencies, relish in making things more and more complicated, right? This is actually, still makes me laugh, this is actually a strategy document that come for a big international fast food chain that came across my desk. And I was like, what is this? They said, that's the strategy. And it was 4 A4 big folders like that, and attached scarily inside those were USBs with things that weren't even printed and video. And I'm just going, this is just insane. People are so time poor nowadays, not just your consumers, but also the people in your companies. If things are too hard, they get put in the too hard basket way too quickly by the CEOs, by your staff, and eventually by your customers. So what we want to do is simplify. You should be, I often think of it a bit like a billboard. Do you know, if you're driving past a billboard, I've literally got 3 seconds, and it's like, Volvo makes safe cars. Okay, I've seen that, I understand it, carry on. And that's kind of how brands should be. So what we try and do is take those 4 folders and so you've got some worksheets in front of you. You're not going to get to the final answer today, but they're really good as a bit of a takeaway as well. And just start sticking notes into them and going, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's this. We simplify a whole brand down to a 1 page, right? So, you know, the best briefs are a brief. The best brands can literally sit on 1 page. I tend to think of it like, and what sits in those, and literally in those spaces, so there's a blank cheat sheet in the back of there, is think of it like you're getting something engraved and you're paying by the letter. So think in every letter, every word should be doing something. It cuts down on the, oh, we do this, and we do this, oh, and we do that, and we do this, and we do this, and we do this. And the way to kind of bring all those things back as well is constantly be asking why. So, you know, when people are kind of going, oh, we do this, and this, and this, and this, and this, well, why? Why are you doing that? Oh, well, that's to help our consumer, and why? And if you bring it back so much, you can't ask why anymore. And you end up with something, you go, nobody can really argue with that. It's really simple. Almost so simple it kind of seems obvious. Perfect. You know, you want to get back to really simple. So we call this a goalpost alignment. What we actually do is get basically everybody within a brand to be doing these in different forms and different ways of doing it. And it's amazing the stuff, like when I say about bringing brilliant out in brands, it's amazing how you can kind of find stuff in businesses. You go, well, that's absolute gold that is sat from some guy in the mailroom. That never would have made its way up and filtered up, but it's the reason why everybody exists. So let's talk about our 5 little sections of this. So, and without a shadow of a doubt, purpose is the hardest thing for a business. It's the thing that everybody kind of goes, oh, okay. And I've seen like, you know, financial guys in business, literally that you can see their toes curling when you go, apart from making money, everybody's in a business to make profit. Even we've got clients who are not for profits, but they've still got to make a profit to exist. Besides making money, why does your business exist, right? And that's a really hard one. And what we'll actually do is we've got an exercise. We'll kind of work through a little bit on the sheets to let you kind of like start getting your head around it. It's also good as well that when we go through it, we'll explain how we get, which is point 2, about unify, how you can really get there a lot easier and quicker as well. Vision. What does the future of the business look like? So a lot of people will be going, I mean, honestly, insanity. Some of the businesses and a lot of the skyscrapers over here that we've done consultancy work with, they'll be going, they'll be planning like a quarter, a half, or a year ahead. And I'll be going, well, why don't we plan like 20 years ahead, right? And literally just go, what's the big arduous vision? and we can kind of at least then we can kind of know if we're going in the right direction. Instead, a lot of people will be running for 3 months, sprinting for 3 months, and then stop and go, slightly out of breath after the last bit of crazy activity. Now what are we doing? Okay, right, go. And then they go off and repeat the process. And they're just zigzagging all over the place with no kind of clear direction. Positioning. Again, this doesn't have to be the sexiest thing, but what are you going to be famous for? Right? So literally, again, Volvo, we make safe cars. Okay, that's what you're famous for. You can add other things in there. We're Swedish, been around a long time. We used to make jet engines, blah, 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 blah. All those other things, but safety is at the key of their brand. Values. So what truths underlie your business? How do things get done in the business? So it's interesting. And all of these things, none of this is about making stuff up. Right? All of this stuff already exists in the business. So it's not like, I think that's a bit of a misconception as well. People tend to go, oh yeah, we're going to rebrand, reposition, whatever we're going to do, and we're going to go off and then we're going to go to the consumer. It's not about telling them what you think they want to hear, which unfortunately is the reason why brand values have got a bad name now, because the banks have been doing that for years of literally telling people what they want to hear, not delivering on it, changing them, making it into an ad campaign, changing it 3 months later. Your values won't change unless you do. And then the pointy end. So I can't go much further than the exhibition downstairs. So the pointy end of what's the promise of what people are going to do. I spent a bit of time on Wednesday walking around the exhibition downstairs, and I play a game where I stand in front of someone's exhibition stand, far enough away where I don't let people quite talk to me yet, and I play a game of, what do you do? And you must have seen that down there. There must have been a few stands that you stood in front of and gone, no idea, something about innovation, something about, delivering on our promises. What do you do? Do you know what I mean? So it's that pointy consumer end is what's the thing that sits up there. I couldn't go past another one downstairs as well of and there's a few of them, but one of them basically, I played a bit of a game of kind of going, what do you do? Couldn't crack it. Then eventually I kind of went, what do you do? And they basically made, incontinence products. And I was like, okay. And they were firmly telling me what. There was another guy who made vacuum pumps and was basically giving me the technical spec of a vacuum pump. And I'm like, okay, that's great. I mean, I ordered to make clear I wasn't buying one, but that was his passion was, how the pump worked. But the guys with the incontinence pads, I was going, he was literally telling me what material they're made of and pants. I was going, and and in the back of my head, it's screaming. I'm going, you don't make incontinence pads. What you're selling is people's dignity, right? You're literally, that's your thing, but you're not. You're talking about the what? You're talking about the pants. You're talking about adult diapers. Talk about the dignity and how it changes people's lives. I was going, I'm not a client, don't give your ideas away for free. So kind of backed away from them. The other one as well. So again, let's take our name as an equation. Be you, not them. Who's them? Right? Now, them could be your entire competition, or it could be something else entirely, and we'll come on to a whole nother exercise where we start going through those as well.